I'm scared to read. This is becoming more deranged by the second. This is sickening! Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. A bitch is back talking about books. Okay, before we get into this video, two things. Trigger warnings. We are going to be talking about some insane things in this video. Darker topics like SA, R-wording, very graphic details of specific things that happen in this book that are very, very triggering. So if you cannot handle those topics of sexual violence, of abuse, please do not watch the video. I will catch you in the next video. That is one thing I need to say before getting into this video. Secondly, if you do end up being interested in watching this video that I am making, please hear me out from the very beginning to the end, because my thoughts throughout this entire process of reading this book changed so much from the beginning to the end. It was a roller coaster of emotions. So the way that I speak about this book in the very beginning is very different than the way I speak about it in the end of my video. Don't take everything I say as the end-all be-all of my opinions on this book. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just my reaction to reading this book in real time. It was a time of my life. I will say that. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please enjoy my reaction to this book. Okay? I'm literally like, I have no words. I'm doing a little bit something different right now. I'm getting ready in the morning and I am going to start a reading vlog of this book that I started at 3 a.m. this morning. Do not ever do that, please, because then you will stay up till 6 a.m. till later than that, forcing yourself awake so that you could keep reading. I am getting ready in the morning and I'm gonna talk about the beginning of this book that I read because it is batshit. But at the same time, I really went into this book thinking it was gonna be a hate read. I still don't know where I stand on that. I don't know if it's a hate read, if I actually like it. I don't know what's going on, but we are going to talk about it because I could not put it down so far. I don't know if it's the worst thing I've ever read in my life or if it's actually not that bad. And the book I'm talking about, okay, stay with me here, please, please, please stay with me here, is Little Spider. I'm gonna talk about it for right now while I get ready in the morning. I really thought I was going to hate this book. It was gonna be a hate read. I picked it up. I was like, oh no, it's quote unquote dark romance. It's gonna be like another Haunting Adeline situation. It's gonna be horrible. There's gonna be literal SA in it. The male lead is gonna be insane. And I went into this thinking, I don't know why this is so popular on TikTok, but it is 3 a.m. in the morning. I can't go to sleep. I'm bored. Let me pick it up and start it. I started it right away. I'm on the 30% mark. It's a really short book. It's around 200 pages, so it's very novella-esque. Immediately, writing was not good at all. The book gives Wattpad, okay? The book is so Wattpad. We go on a timeline of this young girl who, firstly, you don't even get her name till 10-15% of the way in. I was like, we never got her name until way later. She's with her adopted family at the airport, and she is 6 years old, and they're picking up her new brother, adoptive brother. Yeah, that's one of those books, okay? It's step siblings. Okay, so it's a step-siblings romance and they grew up together. She picks up her new brother at the airport and both of them were adopted from their past lives that were very, very abusive. We don't know the extent of the abuse that they had gone through in their past lives. She is 7 at the time. The male lead, who is the stepbrother they pick up at the airport, is 8. It is in her POV. Oh my god, I have so many notes and highlights already. It's insane. I don't know what it is. I could not put this book down. Whether good or bad, I could not put this book down. My new brother, he's a year older than me, and from what I heard by listening in to my parents, he's been abused, a word they used when they adopted me too. And this is how the writing is. Okay? He's looking at mommy, who narrows his eyes at him. Daddy smiles. She's talking to the lady, and my daddy is writing on pieces of paper. I turn to the boy, and he does the thing with his hands again. It's in the head of a 7-year-old girl, but the way that it comes off is so cringy, and I was like, this is perfect. It's gonna be the perfect hate read. That is what I thought, but I was eating it up. Okay, I could get behind this. Stepbrother romance it's gonna be a hate read. The writing, gonna be a hate read. Like, I was so sure of it. And then we get to when she's 11. We get to when she is 16, 17. The beginning of the present day timeline starts when she is 18, I believe, and Malachi, who is the male lead, is 19. They are step siblings, and they have grown up together. Throughout this short little timeline in the beginning of the book, there was always this tension between them. This mother very beginning of the book, falls in love with the female lead. He meets her, touches, plays with her hair. He has this thing where he loves to sniff her hair. That's his thing. He's always inhaling that shit. He brings my hair to his nose and inhales, closing his eyes. This is when he is 7 years old. Mans was creepy since day one. As they get older, they share a room. He's obsessed with her, and you could tell from the very beginning of the book. You're never in his headspace yet. You can tell he is obsessed with her and very possessive of her. Or I'm gonna call him Malachi because the way that they spell it, am I not good with English? Because I swear that the way that you sound that out is Malachi. But whatever, his name is Malachi. He is mute. He does not speak because of the abuses that he's been through. He uses sign language to communicate. He's not deaf, but he is mute. He writes down the word mine to Olivia. That is the first day that they met, and he already is like, you're mine. As they get older, they share a room, they cuddle, they do things that are not very brotherly or sisterly. There's one time when they're 11, she's playing the piano, he walks in, he loves to look at her, to watch her play. It's honestly kind of romantic. Oh my god, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I was like, wait, this is kind of eating up because I love that he's obsessed with her and is like so in love with her basically, and so sure of her since the very beginning. The whole brother-sister thing, we'll get into it a little later, but I did not like that. If you're into it, you'll like it, but like, I didn't like it. They're step siblings. He kisses her on the lips, and she's just like, oh, you can't do that. Mom told me boys aren't allowed to kiss me. You're a boy. And he goes, I'm your brother, so I'm allowed. On the lips. That's what she said. Sick to my stomach, okay? Sick to my stomach. Later on in the book, he still has this hair sniffing kink. Malachi leans down and sniffs my hair just like he does every day. What is he doing? What is with this hair sniffing kink? I read this at 4 a.m., could not put the book down because I was like, wait, he's obsessed with her. I kind of love it. Later on, we get to when they're 18 and 19 years old. He has apparently been diagnosed. I forgot what they call it, but basically he's a psychopath. Literally. He's diagnosed with it. They were both abused as kids, and he doesn't talk, but he's the mysterious bad boy at school. The amount of times they talk about them being brother and sister makes me want to gag. Like, I get it. It's forbidden love. It's a forbidden love. Can we stop it with the brother-sister thing? 2 pages, every 1 page, they bring up the fact that they're brother and sister. Literally, aw, is my big brother gonna miss me? Can you stop, please? I'm not into it. If you're into the brother-sister thing, you'll like it. I just keep trying to ignore it in my head. It's forbidden love. It's forbidden love. It's forbidden love. I can get over the fact that they are literally adopted siblings. I'm gonna replace the fact that they are brother and sister and be like, it's forbidden love. If you're into the step sibling thing, you'll like it, but they say it every 10 seconds. Them being 18 and 19, she has these bad thoughts about this forbidden romance, about wanting to be with Malachi. She's also feels sick to her stomach having these thoughts. She says, is that a normal thing to think? Is that a normal thing to do? Sick, sick, sick. I am sick. I feel sick. And I'm like, wait, that's kind of eating because she is aware of how it's wrong. And I kind of like that. And he hasn't done anything crazy, toxic, or horrible. I mean, yeah, he does things that are toxic, but it's kind of romantic. It's in a way that he's kind of obsessed with her. The one thing that I hated and I could not get over is that he admitted to having cameras in her room. Brother, that we draw the line. You put cameras in her room without her knowing. Creepo, weirdo, stalker. Disgusting, nasty. I did not like that, okay? But the other psychotic that he does was actually very endearing up to this point. I'm only 30% of the way through. And the tension was tensioning. I stayed up reading this book, okay? The writing is not all that, but the tension, the forbidden love aspect of it, the way that he's actually obsessed with her. He said, I will kill anybody who tries to touch you. I said, okay, period. I said, okay, word. Okay, we like that. He is obsessive and toxic, but in a romantic way, not in like, that's a stalker type of way. So far, except the cameras in her room, that's crazy. She says, I love him, I really do, but I have strange thoughts about him sometimes. When my fingers slip between my thighs or when I'm kissing someone else, it's shameless how many times his face has been at the forefront of my mind when I find my O. Okay, brotherly love. I did get the ick because he signed to her. She looked like a hooker because she put on some red lipstick as opposed to the lip gloss that he loves. And there's all these small scenes of tension where they're just like, I think I like the fact that he doesn't speak, because there's so much in between the lines of like what he's thinking and what she's thinking, how much he's obsessed over her. Like, I kind of really love the tension in here. That's what is like keeping me reading this book and not hating it so far. And this is one of the examples of how he is a complete psychopath. They're at the gas station, they're getting gas. She walks into pay for the gas and she sees this guy that she knows. And they talk for 10-15 minutes at the gas station in broad daylight. Malachi comes in, says nothing. Well, he's mute, but he doesn't nothing. Just walks in, immediately grabs the guy and pushes him towards the wall and starts beating him up, and then goes about his day. And Olivia's sitting there like, what the f just happened? Gas station clerk calls the police and it's a whole ordeal. Bro's actually a psycho. But this is what she says about it. She says, I shouldn't be turned on from watching him attack someone. His violence should be punished. I should be yelling at him for doing that. Instead, I'm envisioning him holding me down. And ... Okay, girl, if that's what you're into. She still keeps getting these intense feelings for her brother, and they say that it's her brother every 10 seconds. Then one time they go on a camping trip. He can't hold it anymore. He asks her, can I look at you naked? She goes, no. And he says, I won't touch you. And they have this whole scene where they're playing this game where they ask questions, and if you answer, you take off your clothes. If you don't answer, then the other person takes off their clothes, this whole thing. I actually really like this scene. Throughout their whole time, they have not done brotherly, sisterly things. They literally sleep in the same bed. They cuddle all the time. She was grinding on him one day. She touched his another day. There's a bunch of little scenes like that. The parents are in the front seat. They're both in the back seat going on this camping trip. He says, hold my hand under this flannel and we'll hide it from our parents. And they hold hands under the flannel. She's like, no, I don't want to hold her hand. She goes, why do you want to hold my hand? He says, do I need a reason? Give me your hand or I'll tell mom you touched my while I was sleeping. I die of embarrassment. I would die of embarrassment if I got caught doing that. Oh my god, she literally did that and he was sleeping, but he was not asleep. They play that game of take off your clothes. The thing that I like about this so far is that we get to learn at this point of the story that Malachi is inexperienced because he's obsessed with her, only wants her touch. I love it. The whole brother-sister thing, I'm telling you, and having cameras in her room and him being a psycho, I hate it. The bar is in hell, okay? She tells him when they're doing this whole camping thing, taking off her clothes, he goes to her, tries to kiss her, and she goes, no, you said you wouldn't touch me. And he actually listens to her, and he doesn't touch her. The bar is in hell because I was like, oh my god, he actually listened to what she wanted. She didn't want him to touch her, and he actually listened. Bar is in hell. Bar is actually in the depths of the earth's center inner core. It's horrible. She says, he just tried to kiss me and I refused him. I'm already regretting this entire night. This is when they're on the camping trip. And I literally put in the notes of my Kindle, I said, at least he listened to you when you said no. The bar is in freaking hell. At the same time that she has these intense feelings for her brother, she gets set up on these dates by her parents because her parents are not all that. You come to learn her parents have been trying to set her up on these dates with these guys that she doesn't like because they are in a wealthy family. She is in a wealthy family. They want to marry her off. And they literally make her have sex with these other guys that she does not like. It's quite frankly disgusting. Like, these parents are not all that. While she goes on these dates, they go through periods of time where Malachi and Olivia don't talk to each other. They always have that love to each other. Like, they love being around each other. They love cuddling. They love spending time together. They'll watch movies together. Honestly, quite cute. He's still mute at this point. She's never heard his voice. They always sneak into each other's rooms. After the whole camping ordeal, she and Malachi don't talk anymore, and she feels shunned out by him, really annoyed that he's not talking to her anymore. He goes out on a date and she gets jealous, texts him like, oh, how's your date going? He comes and sneaks into her room again, and they have this whole scene. I ate this up too. You come to realize that he's actually not experienced, which I kind of love. She asks Malachi, oh, Malachi, how was your date? He responds, it was over as soon as it started. She goes, what do you mean it was over as soon as it started? He says, I'm not. His hands freeze, his eyes searching my face before he continues, experienced. She goes, liar. You didn't seem inexperienced in the tent with me. In fact, you seem to know exactly what you wanted. He says, from you? Yeah, I only felt comfortable doing it with you. And she goes, did you at least kiss her? He goes, no, I'm not experienced with that either. You haven't kissed someone before, she asks. He shakes his head and I sit up holding the covers to my chest because she's only in a towel. But you tried to kiss me. He says, what part of me feeling comfortable around you don't you understand? Have you kissed someone before? She nods, yeah, she has. His jaw hardens. Can you show me how? I was like, wait, why am I kind of eating this up? He's inexperienced and he's asking her, can you show me how to kiss? Again with the sister thing. Didn't you hear what I said about the tent situation? I'm your sister. We would get into so much trouble with our parents. I'm like, okay, we get it. We get it. It's forbidden. Stop saying you guys are siblings. So wrong. He says, I would be only comfortable with you teaching me how. Then they start to basically make out. She says, are you sure it doesn't bother you that we're brother and sister? He raises a brown response. Stop saying that. Yes, please stop saying that, please. So they start making out all throughout the scene. I think what I love the most about it, I must be unhinged, because why am I kind of eating this up? Like, it's spooky season. It's spooky season the way I'm kind of eating this up, even though it's crazy. He asks her, what do you like? Is that what you like? He just wants to do everything to please her. I kind of like it. And she tells him, I like to be choked. I said, okay, kinky. Okay, girl. She says, put your hands here, or you can put your hands on their hips or in their hair. People like touch, especially while being kissed. He pulls his hands away and I halt, thinking I've done something wrong, but then he moves both to communicate with me. What do you like? The bars in hell, the fact that he asked her, what does she like? And I was kicking my feet up in the air, screaming like, ah, oh my God, he asked her what she likes. He cares about it, communicates about what she likes. Ah! The bars in hell. And she has these depraved thoughts. She says, I like things that are frowned upon. I have fantasies that I return to again and again. My pursuer always has the same face. She says, I like to be choked. I like rough kisses that hurt, and then he starts to be really rough on her. What I like so far is that we have inklings of CNC, consensual non-consent. He's still psycho and he still does crazy, horrible things, and he is toxic. This is not a perfect book at all. But I think when it comes to the smut scenes, they actually communicate about the things that she likes, and it actually feels like consensual non-consent at times. It's not perfect. I'm not saying that at all. She talks about how, I'm your sister, I should stop, we're siblings, whether blood related or not. Get it, girl. We fucking get it. Stop saying it. And then we get the praise kink, but it's coming from her because she's telling him what she likes and he's super inexperienced about it. She opens up. She's not a virgin because she was forced to have sex with these other guys that her parents set her up with. He gets furious, he gets riled up, but he doesn't hurt her. He does have violence tendencies though. He goes, you him again or anyone else, I'll kill them. I'm supposed to marry one of them, she argues. But you know what? I kind of like that type of psycho. Okay, a psycho who will kill other people but not hurt you and will do everything that you like and everything that you want. I'm like, ooh, okay. Later on, he's like, I want to continue these lessons. They go up to their bedroom. She goes, I don't have long. What do you want me to teach you? He shrugs. He says, whatever it is that you like. She laughs. If you want to learn what I like, then being in a bedroom isn't that. You want to chase me around a cemetery, the woods, make me terrified while you f me? His pupils expand. If that's what you want. I was like, wait, they're actually talking about their kinks and the things that she likes. She explicitly said it to him. They feel comfortable around each other. I was like, wait. This is not what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be another Haunting Adeline situation where he's a stalker, he's creepy, doesn't know anything about her, but still is like so drawn to her for no reason at all, and then scares her and stalks her in the woods because he's a mind reader and he knows that she likes it. But this one, they actually talk about it. They actually have a history. There is a lot of scenes of them growing up together. Barf, yes, I know they're brother or sister. There's scenes of them growing up together and them always being around each other, always having that safe space with each other. And even though, yeah, it is insta love, he was obsessed with her from the very beginning, I still kind of found it romantic so far. I'm only 30% of the way through. It's kind of eating. Up till 6 a.m. reading this. She's about to go out on her date with one of those guys she's arranged to. She's here sucking Malachi's, and she goes, I want to taste you, I say, my tone breathy and erotic. I want to go to Parker's house, and when I kiss him, I want him to taste you on my tongue. I said, okay, kinky. That is sickening. Malachi looks down at me, grinning as he pulls out a little for me to gasp in air. He sighs. I wonder what he'd think if he knew his precious daughter was the one sucking his son's, like the filthy little whore she is. I was like, oh. He was so endearing up until that point. That's basically where I'm left off. I'm already 40% of the way through the book, which is crazy. I read this all last night, and I will keep updates on how things continue from here. Sorry, this whole intro was really long. I honestly don't hate it. Like, I thought this was gonna be a hate read. I thought this was gonna be insane, but I don't hate it. I don't love it either. There are flaws to it. I think every single book out there has flaws. And on my channel, I try to talk about the goods and the bads of every single book, no matter if I gave it 5 stars. Some books aren't for everybody. This book has a lot of flaws. But tell me why, as a dark romance, so far, I'm kind of eating it up. And I've talked about this before on my channel about how dark romance is not romantic. It's really scary, actually. This is an example of scary because he is psycho and he's actually really scary, but at the same time also romantic. Like, it's actually kind of romantic the way that he only wants her touch, the way he always thinks about her, the way that they grew up together and are always around each other and always cuddle and always need time with each other. Olivia is the only one that Malachi communicates to because he doesn't speak and they've been through trauma. I'm like, wait, why is it kind of romantic? Cameras in her room is crazy and psycho. Yeah, no, hate that, hate that. Possessiveness is a little overboard, but I like the way that they have communicated their kinks to each other so far. I like the way that he's utterly obsessed with her so far. I don't know, and I will keep updated. Maybe it will go downhill from here. You never know. Okay, I think I'm psychotic. I think I'm freaking insane because tell me why I'm blushing. I was like, ah! She's at Parker's house, which is one of the guys that her mom kind of sold her off to. Her mom sold her virginity off to this guy, and he's really horrible. She's at this party with this guy. His name's Parker. She's scared because Parker hits her, offers her up to his friends. She is at Parker's house. They're in the basement with all of his friends, and she gets scared. Parker goes, sit your ass down, so do as you're fucking told. She texts Malachi her location. That's all she gives Malachi. Just her location, nothing else. But he knows that she is out with Parker and she's probably in trouble. That's why she sent her location. I don't know, however much longer later, he comes in masked up in a balaclava, I think it's called, with 5 other guys, breaks the basement door down, basically saves her. He motions for her to get out, and she says, I stop beside Malachi, or Malachi, whose gaze is now fixed on Parker. Thank you, I say. He was going to make me blow him and his friends. Parker lifts his hand as Malachi raises the bat and storms towards him. Hey man, she's a goddamn liar. He's silenced by the bat smashing into the side of his face, knocking him sideways. I said, karma. Because you hit her. Parker and Malachi are honestly not that different. The bossiness, the possessiveness, the violence are all the same. The only difference was that Malachi doesn't hit or wouldn't ever physically hurt Olivia. The bar is in hell. I'm telling you, the bar is in hell. He's waiting for instructions, the clueless look in his eyes making me giddy. Malachi vies, innocent only for me, on his knees for his sister, looking like I own him. I do own him. I think there's something seriously wrong with me because I think this is the first dark romance where I'm like, I don't actually hate it that much, and I don't think it's that horribly toxic. He's actually kind of sweet and romantic. This is kind of the dark romance that I eat up. I'm kind of liking it, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for that because I have on other dark romances, dark romances before, but so far it's actually kind of romantic. Okay, I just came back from work, and the fact that I read this at work, I'm scared because I won't lie, I read a few Goodreads reviews after being halfway through this book. I was like, it's not horrible yet. It's not that horrible. It's not that bad. The quotes were kind of eating, and I'm scared because I'm just thinking, is it gonna go downhill from here? I was literally reading this at work. I have like snapshots of me at work reading it and being like, oh my god, wait, why is this kind of eating? She says, I'm scared that if we keep doing this, I'll start falling for you, and me and you, it's impossible. I'm like, okay, forbidden romance. This brother-sister thing, hate it down, but I'm just gonna ignore that in my head and be like, okay, it's a forbidden romance, okay? He sits on the edge of my bed. These were just lessons for you. Were they more for you? I don't know, he signs, and he genuinely looks dumbfounded. I don't understand the way I feel. It's different, like I don't have any control. And she says, maybe we should stop before it gets more confusing. Would you be comfortable with somebody else now that we've, you know, done things? Or do you still want lessons? Can I not just be comfortable with you? That's kind of cute. Tell me that's not kind of cute. We're gonna ignore the I'm your sister, and he goes, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like he is so into her and only her. I really like that. Am I mentally stable? Am I deranged for being like, wait, that's kind of cute? I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading, okay? So now I'm on 45% of the way through the book. I'm so conflicted because I actually am so entertained by this book, but at the same time, I kind of hate it. She says, I'm going to Abby's tonight. She's having a little party for her 19th. My brother's eyes slowly lift to me and he shakes his head. No. I screw my nose up. Don't you dare try to tell me what to do. I sign back while mom's back is turned. I'm staying there and you won't stop. He says, I will. I scoff and shake my head. F you. He says, I'll do that too. The blush on my cheeks betray me and I kick him under the table, making him cough through a laugh while he eats his cereal. Just being honest, little sister. Can we stop it with the sibling thing? Like, please, I want to. It's not my thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to ignore it just to have an okay time reading this. If you're into the step sibling thing, all power to you. You will love this book because they mention it every other page. It's not for me. Not for me. But I like the forbidden love aspect of it. I do like that. I'm literally mentally unstable. Why is this kind of eating? I also hate this book because there's just something a little bit too toxic about it. I love that he's whipped for her and it's giving the romance aspect that I need. The tension is tensioning. The longing is longing, okay? There's a lot of longing in here. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of forbidden romance. I don't like that. Other than that, cameras in her room is crazy behavior. Insane behavior. Baby killing other people. At least it's for her. Oh my god, the bar is in hell. Is also insane, crazy behavior. But if that's in a romance book, in a dark romance book, and they are killing somebody else for you, I eat that up, okay? I love a good dark romance, and I love when it's actually romantic. And to me, that is kind of romantic. Like a murderer murdering someone for you. I'm like, oh, so dreamy. In a dark romance, yeah, it works. The fact that he only wants to be touched by her and no one else affects him except her, and he's not like a boy, like he doesn't sleep around. I don't know, I like it. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm as sick and deluded as the main character in this book because that's wild. At first I was like, oh, the parents in this, what good people, raised and adopted these two young kids who got abused when they were young. But now there's some weird about arranged marriages and selling their daughter off and selling her virginity off. That's wild. Like, are we in the 1800s right now? Because what is going on? Is this the 21st century? Why are you selling your daughter off into marriage, an arranged marriage? But not only that, you're selling her virginity and you're selling her body. I'm like, I don't like these parents anymore. That's weird as hell. I don't know how I feel about this book. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. Truly, it is the most conflicting book I've ever read, but I'm eating it up. Like, to me, it is so entertaining. I am just scared it's gonna go downhill from here because the plot, there is no plot right now. There is zero plot right now, and we're already halfway through the book. The characters, there is no characters. It is YN and male lead. Because this girl, there is nothing about her that I know. She is YN, truly. I don't know a single thing about her except she's kind of whiny sometimes. Him, you know what this book reminds me of? Is that one weird Netflix movie called Tearjerker. Feel like the plot is similar. Because aren't they step siblings in that movie too? I don't know, I kind of blacked out watching that movie. Everything about this book is horrible. Plot, no plot. Characters, there's no characters. Writing, down the drain. Like, this is true. A 12-year-old wrote this. The writing of it is so juvenile. It's very easy to read, right? There's no metaphors, there's no nothing. It's, he went to the store, he got food. Well, tell me why I actually am so interested in what's going on. Weirdly enough. He leans in, bringing his nose just above my ear to inhale the scent of my hair, while his cologne distracts me. Always smelling my hair, always rubbing it between his fingers. Weirdo behavior. You've been sniffing this girl's hair since she was 6. And she goes, my throbs. From him being creepy and smelling your hair is crazy. Ooh, okay, it's getting dramatic. Oh, Anna, which is the girl he went on a date with. I have a question about the mute, which is Malachi. Malachi, did you him a few months ago at the party? And if so, does he moan? Shh, Olivia is his sister. I don't want things to be weird on the team if she finds out I'm screwing her brother. I think Anna is lying, making rumors, but Malachi is not doing it. If he is, negative points. And Olivia is jealous. I know Olivia is basically just YN, but girly pop, you can't just go assault other people too. We can't have this double standard. You can't just slap him because you're mad. You think if he slapped you, that would be okay? He cups my face between his hands, pressing his forehead to mine, breathing heavily, but I pull back when he tries to kiss me, my hand moving before I can think and slapping him across the face. Get the out. Basically, she feels like he lied to her because he was having sex with this other girl named Anna and he manipulated her into doing things with her even though they were brother and sister. Maybe Anna was lying. That's my inkling. If he actually did do it with Anna, male lead in the trash, in the freaking trash, okay? I like my men pathetic, and that is not pathetic if he did that. Out. Honestly, I feel like if he's psycho, she's kind of psycho too now, and they deserve each other because it says, I shove at his chest and walk to my vanity, grabbing the largest perfume bottle there and throwing it at him, hitting his shoulder. He shakes his head and comes for me, signing, let me explain. F you, I see. Slapping him across the face again. When he gets close enough, his cheek red. I hate you, do you understand that, you freak? Not you calling him a freak. Girl, what does this guy see in her, first of all? But also vice versa, like they deserve each other at this point. I hate you for tricking me, for manipulating me into doing things for you. Malachi tries to sign again, but I grip his fingers, twisting them, making him grit his teeth with discomfort, but he doesn't stop me. It's like he's enjoying the pain, the way I'm hitting him, the voice I'm using as I scream at him. And that dark little voice in my head enjoys it too. Both of you are freaky as hell. You guys deserve each other. I shove at his chest again and again and again until he snatches my wrist and pushes me into the wall. His mouth opens as if he's trying to say something. His lips shaping, no sound coming from them until he's whispering. Okay, he's saying something. He's finally saying something. He's finally speaking, and he hasn't spoken since he was 8 years old. I shake my head and duck under his arm, grabbing the door handle. Go, I say sternly. Just go, Malachi. There's nothing to resolve here. We were gonna be each other's firsts, he signs, his eyes searching my face erratically. I turned away from him and laugh, leaving my bedroom and walking down the hall, shaking my head. I'm not a virgin, Malachi. I haven't been since I was 16. I spin around to face him again and see his defeated hands by his side. And apparently, neither are you. I'm not a liar, he signs. Believe me. I'll never believe you again. Okay, but I don't know. Because who's to say Anna wasn't lying? Truly, he was so obsessed with Olivia, or at least in my head. Maybe I'm as delusional as her. I don't think he was lying. Anna was probably lying. Why is she so adamant that Anna was telling the truth about anything? But whatever. But you see the plot, there is no plot, but I love it. I am entertained. It's so angsty and melodramatic. It's honestly hilarious. It's spooky season. This is spooky season vibes. This dialogue is so cringe. It's very much giving Punk 57 Penelope Douglas. I never want to see you again. I hate you. I hate you. And then they're like making out. And I can't say this out loud. No, I have to. It's so cringe though. Looking up at Malachi, I grip the base. Okay, TMI. I hope when you see others on their knees for you, you see me, your innocent baby sister, barf, with your in her mouth. I hope when I'm out of your life, you miss this sight, because as soon as you finish down my throat and I swallow all your big brotherly, you're going to pack all your and leave. That is so cringy. Oh, you told him off. You told him off, girly. Like, what are you talking about? This line. His jaw tenses. He says, say you love me. Say you feel the same way I do about you. I tip my chin up. I don't love you, Malachi. I could never love someone like you. His jaw tenses. He's signing everything, okay? Because I can't tell you how breathtaking you are every second of every day. Because I can't breathe without being near you. Someone like me, I'm different. I can't be normal for you. I can't defend you without using my fist or my bat, and I can't touch you at the same time as telling you that you're everything to me. I can't whisper sweet nothings in your mouth, and I can't marry you because not only am I your brother, but I'm defective. The melodrama is melodramaing. Believe me or not, but you're the only person in my life, and you have always been. And when you take your last breath or I take mine, that won't change. You are mine. My goddamn property. I'm gonna ignore that line. Do you understand me? It's getting dramatic. They're literally on the staircase and his dad catches them. He rushes up the stairs, stopping when he sees who's destroying his baby girl's. Malachi! Dad grabs his shoulders and tries to pull him away from me, but my brother's grip doesn't falter, nor do the. Oh my god! This is insane. This do not care. He does not care. He's like, I'm eating her out. But my brother's grip doesn't falter, nor do the strokes of his tongue, and we're both dragged across the floor while Dad tries to get him off me. My brother doesn't stop. And my eyes close as my dad tries again. His mouth disconnects from my and I whisper from the loss, and the next thing, Malachi is being dragged off of me and Dad punches him. Your daughter tastes delicious, he sighs. Too bad she's all mine. I'm eating my popcorn chicken. Cheers. I'm scared to read. This is becoming more deranged by the second. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay. Should I read it out loud? I'm scared. My mom is in the other room. Sorry, you're gonna see this chicken, okay? In the scene, her dad catches them, and then Malachi and her dad get into a fight. Dad falls down the stairs, hits his head. He's unconscious. I run at him and Malachi lets me. I cut my dad's cheek between my hands, blood soaking his face. Daddy, can you hear me? A presence behind me makes me freeze, and I glance over my shoulder to see Malachi getting on his knees behind me, stroking his from the base. His bottom lip is captured between his teeth, and I gasp as he shoves my shirt up over my... I'm scared. I'm scared. This is spooky. I'm scared to read. I'm scared. I haven't read past this. I try to sit up, but he snatches my nape and keeps me on all fours, pushing my head onto my dad's chest. Unconscious dad's chest. His heart is beating so fast like a drum as Malachi lines the head. I can't read this, you guys. I can't do it. I'm scared. As Malachi lines the head of his car up to my entrance. He's not going to. Against my inner turmoil and the fear that my dad might be dying. Wait, that's funny. My aches for him. It's vile and wrong and sick, but I need him inside me. Miss, your dad is lying unconscious on the floor. Whatever do you mean? He rubs his I'm gonna read this in silence now. I can't do this out loud. I need to turn off the camera because I'm scared. I think I like the first half of this book better than the second half because it's getting a little deranged. I don't think I want to know what's going on in his head. I don't think I want to know anymore. We are 8 years later. Olivia's living her life, is engaged to this guy she doesn't know, assistant to her mom. Her dad is alive. And Malachi, after that incident, went to jail, and Olivia testified against him. He's furious, he's mad. He got out of jail 6 months ago, and he stalks her. I cannot believe he admitted to this. My favorite time is when she drinks the spiked alcohol in her fridge. I get to come over and care for her. Sometimes I'll wash her hair and cuddle her in bed, and other times I watch her stumble around her apartment in the dark, thinking my shadow is some part of her nightmares. Mom, pick me up, please. I'm scared. Mance is drawing her. I don't think I like what's going on in his head. I think he scares me. Not in a good way. So now we've gone from step-sibling story to stalker story. I think this is what people were saying, like, oh, it's similar to Haunting Adeline. I think we're getting there. He still puts hidden cameras in her room. That is sickening. And the dialogue is still as cringe. When he's stalking Olivia, there's a picture in her room. He says there's a small image of us in that too. Younger, me on her back at the beach. I'm a slim head in it, no ink, no muscles, and I'm wearing a blue shirt that says something about sharks. Mom knew I hated sharks, but she bought it for me anyways. Her too. I always drew a mustache on her picture, but Olivia has yet to notice. That entire family, except the daughter. She's hot and kind of imprinted on my brain. My dear, sweet, innocent sister. I still see her distraught face when I sat for her in handcuffs, the way she couldn't look at me while she testified against me, ultimately sending me to prison for attempted murder on her precious daddy. Dad ended up with brain damage, loss of memory, and use of some body parts. So she got away without losing her vice status since our dad had no recollection of why the broke fought out. Ew, okay, this is gross. He literally describes her like a meal. He interrupted my meal. Maybe now he'll know better than to take away my food. F***ing asshole. She's not property, but okay. He should have died. I want him to die. I still do. He takes up so much of Olivia's attention. She's always wheeling him around in his chair, opening his food for him, feeding him. She kisses his cheek every time she leaves the manor. I know this because I have cameras set up there too. This mother... and his damn cameras. I have cameras everywhere she goes. My girl never needs to worry about anybody hurting her because her wonderful ex-con, apparently psychotic brother is free and keeping her out of harm's way. Oh my god, how romantic. That's so scary. I liked this book at first. It's scaring me now. I'm getting shivers. This book is sickening. He literally undresses her, and she's unconscious. And the reason why he assumes that she would like it is because he read her journals. In her journal it said, if Malachi was free, I'd want it to be him to make all my fantasies come true. And she's drugged. This is very PD of him. This is not romantic anymore. This is sickening! She is unconscious, does not know this man, okay? Does not know it is him. And he drugs her, goes into her apartment, undresses her, and I thought it was gonna stop there. It continues. Guess what happens? I'm not even gonna say it. I can't say it out loud. I can't say it out loud. It says, oh my god, I can't even say it. No, I can't say this out loud. I think there was a me before reading this book and a me after, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. This book is so scary. This is how depraved this is. So he does unconscious things, and he says, I'll be doing this every single night now. She came all over, whispered my name, and moaned. So she definitely liked it. Oh, that's not... Honestly, I'm just wondering what he does for a living, right? Because he got out of prison like 6 months ago. He has his own motorcycle, a really cool one, and has his own apartment. Where is he getting this money? This is sick and twisted. I thought the was bad. They do a little chase, cat and mouse chase thing in the woods, and then he uses chloroform to make her pass out. Where is he getting all this money? He literally just said in the book that he bought a farmhouse a few weeks ago just for Olivia. Where is he getting money to buy a whole goddamn farmhouse? And then I thought that was it. He legit kidnaps her. It's giving the I was kidnapped by One Direction, Wattpad era vibes, but like 10 times darker. Has her chained in the basement of the farmhouse, in the middle of nowhere, shackled up and passed out. This is spooky. This is spooky season. She said she likes to be chased. She said she likes to be scared. When did she ever say she liked to be passed out and When did she ever say that? I'm dead. It's honestly kind of funny sometimes. Her eyes land on me. Take your mask off. I shake my head even though a shock of anxiety hits me. If she finds out it's me, what would she do? I'm having too much fun right now to ruin my hidden identity. If you take it off, I'll suck your d. I frown and stop walking around her. What? My voice is deeper, a warning tone I've never heard from myself before. She has no idea who I am, and she just offered to blow me in exchange for me taking off my mask. Honestly, they deserve each other because of what the f. I'm sorry, this is so graphic, okay? Skip this video if it's too graphic. I part her ass cheeks with my hand, using the wetness from her to lube up her puckered hole. It's staring right at me, like it wants to have a conversation. So I silence it by burying my tongue inside. It's staring at me like it wants to have a conversation. Her hole. You guys, this book is so unserious. I swear, I think it's supposed to be funny. This is word for word quoted in the book. It's official. I, Malachi Vise, hereby swear to be a man now. Forever and always, I will gratify my needs by burying my in my sister's tight back hole. I cannot take it seriously. I really can't. I really can't. Because the dialogue, there is no way that that is supposed to be taken seriously. There is absolutely no way. I need to just say this right now. I am so sorry for laughing. This is the most horrific I've ever encountered. It's to a point where like you have to laugh at the trauma. You know, everyone's trauma response is different. Things like this don't really trigger me. I just know that it's not good. It's psychotic, honestly. So I do apologize for laughing. Also, at the same time, cannot take it seriously. The way that the beginning of the book started to now is so drastically different. Once we got it from his POV, this was a whole nother book. And the plot, there is still no plot. We are 80% of the way through. What is the plot? I have never been traumatized before in my life like this. This is not like Haunting Adeline. At first, I was like, stepbrother forbidden romance. I could get behind it a little bit. I just need to not think about the stepbrother thing. He, you know, at least listens to her when she tells her to stop. They actually communicate about the kinks that they like. And then we go 8 years in time to present day, right? 8 years later, after he gets arrested and goes to jail, almost killing his dad. And now it is a whole nother book. The first 50% was so different than the second 50. Like, I'm scared. It's a smug good, kind of. Every page that I turn, it just keeps the bar, the things happening just keep growing more and more shocking, and all I can do is laugh. It's making me honestly think, like, should I even upload this book because of how insane it is? Am I overexposing myself on the internet? Absolutely. Read a bunch of different types of books, if you know what I mean, and a bunch of different types of stuff. I just find this one so utterly hilarious. The way that the book turned 180 on its head and just flipped upside down to be so different from the first half, it really messed with my mind. But is it entertaining? It's actually very entertaining to read. And will I finish this book? Yes. At least this is not boring. That is what I will say about the book. At least it is not boring. I'm just kind of speechless. These characters, they are shells of people. Like, they're not actual characters. You can just insert whoever you want to be these characters. It's YN and YN, except both of them are freaky as hell. I don't think I'll be the same person after finishing this. If you've never heard of this book, I am so sorry for introducing this book to you. I am so sorry in advance for having you listen to the things that I'm reading, quoting the things in the book. Sorry if I gave you secondhand trauma. I am so sorry. I think I'm not gonna stop filming my reactions. I'm just gonna finish the last 20% of the book and then I will have my final thoughts. It's the way that this goes from batshit crazy to kind of romantic in the span of a few pages. Literally doing the most horrific shit I've ever read in my entire life to her. She's forgives him so easily. That is one thing. And then a few pages later, she realizes that it's her brother that kidnapped her and did all of that. And they have an insane heart-to-heart that is kind of, if this was in another book, kind of romantic. He says, you were my first, I promised, my first and my only. He says, I bought this house for you with money that our mom gave us, so I guess that's where he's getting his money. She says, where are we? He says, this is our home. I'll renovate and decorate it. I knew you wanted to live somewhere secluded, and when I saw this, I used the money mom gave me to buy it. We live here now. I know neither of us wanted kids, but if you ever do, there are spare rooms I can decorate. I'll even get a dog if you, Malachi, I don't want to live here. I pull my hands free. This is in his head. He says, do you want to live somewhere else? I can sell. It's fine. We can be together wherever you want. No, I mean, I don't want to live here with you. What happened since the festival doesn't change the fact that you nearly killed Dad. I don't forgive you for that. My heart sinks. Why? Why are you really asking me that? Because I don't love you. No, Malachi, you don't love me? I stuttered the words, but I don't care. She's a liar. She's lying. I refuse to take it. It's kind of melodramatic, but quite honestly kind of romantic. Then shows her this voice recording that she sent to him when he just got out of prison, and she confesses to him she loved him in the voice recording. She said, I want to know if anything was ever weird for you, any of it. If you tell me you love me, that I mean the world to you, then I'll admit that I feel the exact same way, because I do, Malachi. I love you so much that it hurts. I shut off the voicemail and stepped forward, my body shaking with rage. It was real. All of it was real. Everything was real. You mean the world to me. But you won't say it back, will you? Olivia slipping through my fingers. What the do I do? I'm sorry, I say, up the enunciation, but who the cares? The spider, the knife, the cameras, all of it. I'm sorry. I close my eyes and blow out a breath. You can just do all of that and then just say, I'm sorry, like, it's okay. But she don't even care about that, which is the crazy part. But let's have a move on. He says, I need you. I stop, my heart racing so fast, I think it might stop. She says, I don't need you. I'm getting married soon, Malachi. I signed an agreement. I can't back out. I won't. We have no chance in this life. Don't you see? You don't even know how to love properly. Your diagnosis proves that. Why would I give up marriage for someone who can never feel the same way about me? I stay quiet because she's right. My version of love isn't enough for her. I love her, I do, but how am I supposed to know what's normal and what's not? My world revolves around her and always has. And if that's not good enough version of my love for her and I can't make her happy, then what's the point? Dude, how did we go from the most insane, bad, crazy stuff happening to the most melodramatic, trying to be romantic, obsessive, longing type of love? This is actually insane. I stay against the wall, my hands behind me, and I try to think of everything possible to make her stay willingly. I want Olivia to choose me. Please choose me. Nobody ever chooses me. Goodbye, Malachi. Please take care of yourself, please. Something weird is happening to me. My chest is sore, my eyes feel immense pressure, and they're ... wet. I think I might be crying for the first time in my life. She opens the door, but I rush in front of her, blocking her exit as I drop to my knees and grab her hands. Please, Olivia, I whisper clearly. Please don't leave me. Please stay with me. Please, I beg, accept my version of love. Please, I love you, Olivia. Olivia doesn't tell me she loves me back or that she'll say. She just gives me a warm smile and pulls her hand away before squeezing past me. I don't turn around to watch her walk out of my life for good. And then the epilogue #1 is 2 weeks later. How freaking melodramatic is that? The roller coaster of emotions that this book has put me through, and the fact that it's basically a novella because it's like 200 pages only, and that the plot is non-existent, and that the characters are non-existent, yet I'm having the wildest time of my life. I'm not saying good or most horrible time of my life. I'm saying the wildest time of my life reading this damn book. Now we are at 2 weeks later. It is her wedding day, the arranged marriage that her crazy mom made her get. A guy that is not a good guy either. And she tells her mom and she tells her dad, I love Malachi, I love my brother, I was just with him the other week. I don't want to marry this guy, this random guy that I don't like and don't know, who's kind of violent too. I want to be with Malachi, I love him. She tells her dad that, and her dad kind of understands, surprisingly enough. And her dad says, I can try to forgive him. From what I know from the PIs I have following him, he started therapy 2 weeks ago. We're at 91% of the way through this book. I am now assuming that, I think there's a book 2, that he is going to therapy to try to change himself, love in a way that is quote unquote normal, so that he can get her back. That's my understanding of maybe why he would go to therapy, but it's really, really Wattpad. Like, not the toxic, abusive, crazy guy being so obsessed and in love with the girl, and he has violent tendencies, and then after that goes to therapy to try to fix himself and be better for the girl. You know how many Wattpad books I have read that have that story arc? After is one of them. I've never even read After, but I know that it goes through that story arc, the therapy story arc. Like, therapy is going to fix everybody, you guys. So you already knew I didn't tell your mother, and I knew he wouldn't hurt you. My ass, he would hurt her. He literally did some crazy things in the woods with her. Your PIs didn't catch when she was locked up in his basement for days in chains. The words that are coming out of my mouth feel insane. I feel like I have to mute half of this video. You said he started therapy? Yes, Angel. He sees a speech language pathologist now too. He inquired the day you returned home, and I made sure he was seen the following day. That tells me he's trying to be better. We wanted this for him for years. He's even been prescribed medication. This is actually the Wattpad story arc. Like, okay, Mr. is going to therapy now. This book is so confusing to me. Know that Olivia doesn't even have a personality or a character, but I don't really like her character either. A lot of the things that she has done have been hypocritical and selfish. I think in a way, I'm not justifying it at all, but I think in a way, you could see why he was angry, because she was kind of a hypocrite and did do a lot of things that were selfish, and she was with other people, even though there were people that she didn't even want to be with, but she really, really, really took it out on him, did not even want to hear him out. I'm like, girl, your communication skills, can we communicate a little bit, please? Like, not even letting him speak. But I'm not saying that he is a good guy at all and that anything that he did was ever justified. I'm just saying she is not all sunshines and rainbows. They could be freaky together. These two people, they deserve each other. They're freaky. They could be freaky together. That's fine. All the people in this book are honestly the worst people ever. Olivia, horrible. Worst person ever. Malachi, horrible. Worst person ever. Her dad honestly does not even have a personality. He is so oblivious to everything. I would consider him just there. Probably the worst person ever. Her mom, the absolute worst person ever, for selling her daughter's virginity off to other guys, for selling her off and marrying her off to people that are horrible just for money. No one in this book is good people at all. Okay? You can't tell me this isn't supposed to be a comedy when there's lines like this. He broke into my apartment the day after I walked away from him and took all the cameras out. He left a note telling me he'd drawn a mustache on mom's face months ago and I should wipe it, and that all my wine bottles are spiked. Oh, just casually leaving that out there. See, this is what I mean. Like, some things I'm like, oh, how kind of romantic in a way, in a weird, twisted way. And then he says something like this. She's mine. She's been mine since the moment we met, and she'll remain my goddamn property. Ew. Oh my god. You guys, can you even see me? I cannot get over this freaking dialogue. Being a virgin at 19 didn't bother me. There was something more important than anyone who threw themselves at me. Olivia was important. I knew to wait. I knew that one day, even if we were in our 30s, I'd bury my sister and make her moan my name so damn loud. I'd have the sounds in my ears until the day I died. You guys, this is so sick and twisted! They are such a freaking deranged couple. They honestly deserve each other. What he did is horrible. Hate him down, hate her down, hate all of them down. But they honestly deserve each other. I grit my teeth and dodge branches, ducking as she stops and tries to throw one at me, missing me by an inch. She screams and turns to run again. I spot the smile on her face. My darling sister is nearly as sadistic as me. She likes to be hunted and caught and she once told me she wanted to be chased through a graveyard. But unfortunately, this forest will have to do. I'll chase her in here every day for the rest of our lives. Who said romance is dead? This is how the book ends. Olivia owns my mind, body, and soul. She did when we were kids, when we were teens, when we were giving in and letting go. Even when I had her chained up in the basement, she had a hold over me. I had it in my head that I wanted revenge on her. I now know I just wanted her back. And guess what? I got her back. She chose me. Olivia actually chose me, and I intend to keep her. the end, ... Or is it? So there's a second book. Honestly debating if I should read it. I kind of want to read it, but my overall thoughts, let's get into it, okay? 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was kind of entertaining. I was actually very much entertained. There were some things that were very, very unforgivable that I'm like, no. Horrid, disgusting, gross. They did a D thing, a blink twice type of situation, and she did not give consent. She was definitely assaulted multiple times in here. I think some of those intimate scenes did a good job at drawing the line at consensual non-consent and just being straight up. Some of the scenes did a good bordering that line, and then other scenes were just like, that's ridiculous. That is not okay in the slightest. Gging her every single night, making her unconscious. Sorry if I'm re-traumatizing you again with these events that happened in the book. Not to compare books at all, but this book, more so than Haunting Adeline, the female lead makes it very well known the things that she is into and communicates that, her likes and dislikes, the types of kinks that she's into. And I'm glad that the male lead took that into account, and that is why he does certain things that he does with her. That is kind of where the line is drawn with consensual non-consent and other specific type of darker aspects of the book. But then there are other things, right? Like the unconsciousness, there's other stuff too. That, okay, this book could have been a higher star if they took those things out of the book. Yeah, maybe she wrote that in her diary, that she wanted to do certain things while she was unconscious or have certain things done to her while she was unconscious. But she did not agree to that just on a random Tuesday night by just anybody. He just did it on his own volition. That is straight up not okay. Those things are unacceptable, 100%. And this book would be a 0 out of 5 stars because of that, right? I am so conflicted because the melodrama in this book, the way that it is so Wattpad coded, the way that these characters are so utterly obsessed with each other for no reason at all, and they're the worst people ever, it's honestly so entertaining. And I quite honestly, I hated myself while reading it. I really did. But I kept reading, okay? I kept reading. It was one of those books where I just couldn't put it down. I'm gonna finish it. The roller coaster I went through, I've already talked about this before earlier in the video, but like, I just am a different person now. There was me before this book, and then there's me after this book. And I'm not the same person. So 2.5 out of 5 stars because I was very entertained, and that is why I gave it a higher star than it should. Stepsister thing, step-sibling thing, I do not like, but you know what? I love the forbidden romance aspect of it. I don't know, my thoughts, no thoughts, head empty, okay? Please, I pray and I hope that you've never read this book. But if you have read this book, please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Maybe I'll delete this video because this is insane. I just feel like there was so much on the internet that I just exposed, and I'm quite frankly, I'm scared. I'm scared, okay? I'm just scared. I'm scared of the book. I'm scared of myself. I'm scared. I'm just scared, okay? So, I'm gonna go to sleep. Please let me know your thoughts on the book if you read it. Please let me know your thoughts on this video. Tell me if I should just delete this video, okay? I love you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.